Ever feel like YouTube can read your mind? Like
Yes.
it just knows what you want to watch even
Oh,
before you do.
uh,
Today, we're going
okay.
deep into the mystery behind YouTube's recommendation system.
Sounds good.
You've sent us a ton of info on this.
I have.
Everything from meta AI research to the actual nuts and bolts of how this algorithm works.
Uh,
So get ready to understand why that cat video popped up on your feed
right.
and how YouTube walks that tightrope
Yeah.
between showing you stuff you love and introducing you to something totally new.
It's a tough job.
It is.
What's so fascinating to me is how behind those
Yeah.
seemingly simple recommendations,
Huh.
there's this whole system
Really?
that's constantly learning,
Mm-hmm.
evolving,
Okay.
adapting
Interesting.
based on your unique viewing habits.
Like a digital detective,
Okay.
building a case file on your interests, but instead of fingerprints and clues,
Okay.
it's using your likes, your comment. Uh-huh.
And even how long you hover over a thumbnail.
Wait, so YouTube's keeping tabs on all that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I knew it tracked what I watched, but
Yeah.
every little click and comment, too, it's almost like it's building a psychological profile of me.
It's not psychology,
Okay. Yeah.
but it is data analysis on a massive scale.
Wow.
And that data gets crunched into something called your interest model.
Interest model.
Yeah, and this model isn't static. It's
Ah.
constantly changing
Okay.
as you interact with YouTube.
So the more I use YouTube, the more detailed my interest model becomes.
Exactly.
And the better the recommendations get.
That's right.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
But it is kind of freaky, too.
I know, right?
It explains why my recommendations have gotten so much more accurate over time.
Yeah.
It's like YouTube is learning my taste in videos better than I know it myself sometimes.
You know, it's not just about your past viewing history.
Oh,
The system also considers the context of your current viewing session.
really? So
Now,
like what?
if you're watching YouTube during your lunch break on your phone,
Mm-hmm.
you'll likely get different recommendations than, say, on a Saturday night
Oh.
on your smart TV.
So YouTube is taking into account things like the time of day,
Yes,
location, even the device I'm using.
all of that.
Wow, it's getting really good
It is.
at understanding not just what I like,
Uh-huh.
but also what I might be in the mood for at that specific moment.
Precisely.
That's kind of scary,
Well,
but also really impressive.
yeah, and this brings us to that
What?
almost sci-fi sounding concept
Okay.
of exploration versus exploitation.
Exploration versus exploitation.
Right? It's a delicate balancing act.
Okay.
YouTube wants to keep you engaged
Mm-hmm.
with content that you'll enjoy,
Right?
but it also wants to broaden your horizons,
So show me something new.
introduce you to things that you might not have discovered on your own.
Okay, so how does that work?
Think of it like a friend
Okay.
who knows you love pizza,
Uh-huh.
but thinks that you might secretly love sushi too,
Oh,
but keeps suggesting new restaurants,
Yeah.
knowing you'll enjoy some more than others,
Right.
but always aiming to kind of expand your culinary palate.
So exploitation is like giving me more of the pizza I already know and love.
Exactly.
And exploration is like suggesting I try some sushi.
That's a great way to put it.
That's a really helpful analogy.
Good.
But how does YouTube decide when to exploit my known preferences
Yeah.
and when to explore new territories?
It's all about the feedback loop.
Okay.
Every click,
Mm-hmm.
every comment,
I see.
it all feeds back into the algorithm
Okay.
and refines your interest model.
So it's like learning.
Yes, constantly learning.
Got it.
And even subtle things like how much of a video you watch
Right.
before clicking away
Mm-hmm.
sends a signal to YouTube
Interesting.
about what's holding your attention.
It's like a constant conversation
It is.
between me and the algorithm.
Yeah.
The more I talk to it, the better it understands my language.
That's a great way to think about it.
But honestly, does this mean I'm trapped in this feedback loop forever?
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's important to remember that you're not completely at the mercy of the algorithm.
Okay.
You actually have more control than you might think.
Really? Like how?
You can manage your watch history, you
Oh.
can tweak your recommendations,
Mm-hmm.
and you can even tell YouTube to stop recommending certain channels.
So I can be like, YouTube, I am sick of cat videos.
You got it.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Good.
I like the idea of being an active participant
Yes.
in shaping my YouTube experience
Uh-huh.
rather than just a passive consumer.
Exactly.
But let's say I am curious about exploring new content,
Sure.
going beyond my usual pizza and sushi.
Okay.
How does YouTube even begin to figure out what else I might be interested in?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
And where the line between user data and AI starts to blur.
Okay.
YouTube's recommendation system doesn't operate in isolation.
What do you mean?
It can actually interact with other AI systems you use.
Hold on, are you saying that YouTube's talking to other AIs behind my back?
In a way, yes.
This is getting into some serious sci-fi territory.
Right.
I need to hear more about this AI to AI communication.
So it's not quite as dramatic as like a robot uprising,
Okay, good.
but it is a fascinating development in how these systems are evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, imagine YouTube teaming up with other AIs
Okay.
to give you the best recommendations.
All right, I'm listening.
This interaction happens through something called an API,
Okay.
which allows other systems to access and analyze your viewing data.
So they're sharing data about me.
They are, think of it as a back channel where different AIs can share notes on your interests,
Okay, so let's say I'm using a language learning app
right?
and I'm trying to pick up some Italian.
Yeah.
This app could actually tap into YouTube's knowledge base
Yeah.
and recommend videos that would help me learn,
Exactly.
like Italian cooking shows,
Yes.
travel vlogs set in Rome, maybe even classic Italian films.
Absolutely.
That's wild.
And these other AIs can even provide feedback to YouTube's system.
Really?
So it's like creating a collaborative learning environment
wow.
where different platforms work together to tailor your online experience.
It's almost like having a team of personalized assistants,
It
each with their own expertise, all working together to curate the perfect mix of content for me.
It's a very powerful concept.
That is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So we're not just talking about YouTube recommending videos anymore.
No, we're not.
We're talking about a whole ecosystem of AIs working together
Right.
to shape what we see and learn online.
Exactly.
But before we get too carried away with the possibilities,
Okay.
let's pull back the curtain a little bit
Right.
and look at how YouTube organizes all this information it's collecting.
Yeah.
How does it make sense of my love for pizza,
Uh-huh.
my budding interest in Italian,
Right.
all the other random stuff that I watch?
That's where the knowledge graph comes in.
Knowledge.
It's essentially a giant map of all your interests
Okay.
and how they connect to different videos.
Interesting.
And it's not static.
Oh.
It's constantly evolving,
Mm-hmm.
being updated as you interact with YouTube.
So it's like YouTube has this giant, ever-growing map
It does.
of all my weird interests.
You got it.
I wonder what mine looks like.
I'm sure it's fascinating.
Is it mostly pizza and cats at this point?
Maybe.
But seriously, how does this knowledge graph actually translate into
Yeah.
those split-second decisions
All right.
about which videos to recommend to me next?
It's a big job.
It seems like an impossible task
It is a massive undertaking.
to sort through all that data in real time.
But that's where the power of AI comes in.
Okay.
The algorithm uses this knowledge graph
Uh-huh.
to make lightning-fast calculations.
So it can keep up with me
It can.
about which videos are most likely to resonate with me
Yes.
based on my unique interests in viewing history.
That's right.
So it's not just some random roulette roll
No, it's not.
spinning and spitting out videos.
Definitely not.
There's actually a sophisticated system behind it, driven by AI,
Yes.
informed by my own behavior.
Uh-huh.
This is all incredibly fascinating.
It is.
But I have to admit, I'm still a little creeped out by how much YouTube seems to know about me.
I get it.
It's like it's peering into my soul through my watch history.
Well,
Do we have any say in this whole process?
you do?
Or are we just pawns in YouTube's AI-powered game?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, so I have some control.
You do.
I'm relieved to hear that.
Good. It's not about control or manipulation.
Okay.
It's about understanding.
Right.
The more we understand how these systems work,
Mm-hmm.
the more empowered we become as users.
Okay. I like that.
So let's look at some concrete examples
All right.
to see how this all plays out in the real world.
Okay.
Imagine you're a huge fan of cooking videos.
Okay.
You subscribe to all the big culinary channels.
Mm-hmm.
You're constantly searching for new recipes.
Yeah.
Your watch history is basically a digital cookbook.
Okay, that hits a little too close to home.
Really?
I might have a slight obsession with baking shows myself.
I see.
But yeah, I see where you're going with this.
Okay.
YouTube's going to pick up on all those signals and start recommending me even more cooking content, right?
Precisely. But here's where the knowledge graph really comes into play.
Okay.
It's not just going to show you the same videos you've already seen.
So what will it do?
It's going to use its understanding of your interests
Okay.
to connect you with related content that you might enjoy.
Like what?
Maybe it'll suggest videos from lesser-known cooking channels
Uh-huh.
or documentaries about specific cuisines you haven't explored yet.
Okay.
Maybe even videos about the history of certain ingredients.
So it's like YouTube is taking my love for, say, baking
Yeah.
and expanding it outward, suggesting things that are connected to that interest,
Uh-huh.
but that I might not have stumbled upon on my own. It's
Exactly.
like having a personal sous chef
Yeah.
who's always suggesting new ingredients and techniques to try.
That's a great way to put it, and it gets even more nuanced.
Oh, really? How so?
Let's say you're watching a video about making pasta from scratch.
Okay.
YouTube's system knows that people who watch pasta making videos often also watch videos about Italian cuisine in general.
So they're connected.
Right. So based on that connection, it might start recommending videos about Italian travel,
Mm-hmm.
culture, even language learning.
Wow. So it's not just about the specific video I'm watching.
Right.
It's about weaving together all my interests.
Yeah.
And suggesting content that fits into that tapestry.
Exactly.
It's like YouTube's trying to create this whole world for me to explore.
It is.
One that's tailored to my unique tastes and curiosities.
You got it. And this brings us back to that idea of AI interaction.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how we talked about different AI systems communicating with each other?
Uh-huh.
Let's say you're using that language learning app we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
You're really trying to master Italian.
Mm-hmm.
That app could actually communicate with YouTube's API to identify videos that would be helpful for your studies.
So it could pull videos
It could?
from YouTube.
Yes. Imagine being able to tap into YouTube's vast library of content.
Okay.
From cooking shows in Italian to travel vlogs set in Rome,
Yeah.
all curated to help you learn the language in a more engaging and immersive way.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal tutor
It is.
who can instantly pull up the perfect video to illustrate a grammar point or introduce new vocabulary.
A very powerful tool.
That is a powerful tool, but with all this personalization and this AI collaboration, is there a risk of getting stuck in an echo chamber?
That is a valid concern.
Yeah, like what if I only end up seeing content that reinforces my existing interests and never get exposed to anything new or challenging?
It's something that both platforms and users need to be mindful of.
Okay.
It's like anything else.
Like what?
A tool can be used for good or for ill,
All right.
but there are ways to mitigate that risk.
Okay, I'd like to hear about those.
First, remember that you have control over your experience.
Okay, good.
You can manage your watch history,
Right.
adjust your recommendations,
Yeah.
even tell YouTube to stop recommending certain channels.
I have some power.
You do. It's about taking a more active role in curating your own online experience.
Instead of just letting the algorithm completely dictate what I see.
Exactly.
But what about YouTube's responsibility in all of this?
Sure.
I mean, they're the ones with all the data and the powerful algorithms.
Yeah.
What are they doing to make sure we're not all just getting trapped in our own little bubbles?
It's a shared responsibility.
Though they have to help.
They do. Platforms like YouTube need to be aware of the potential for these systems to create echo chambers and take steps to promote diversity and exploration in their recommendations.
Okay, how do they do that?
They can do this by suggesting content from a wider range of sources,
Okay.
highlighting different viewpoints, and even encouraging users to step outside of their comfort zones.
So, like, try something new.
Exactly. It's about finding a balance between personalization and exposure
Okay.
to a broad spectrum of ideas and perspectives.
That makes sense. Even if I love pizza, it's good to try a salad every once in a while, right?
Exactly.
Keep things interesting, make sure I'm getting all the nutrients I need.
You got it.
But how do we even know if these systems are working as intended?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, how does YouTube measure the effectiveness of its recommendations?
One of the key methods they use is A/B testing.
A/B testing.
This involves creating slightly different versions of the recommendation algorithm
Okay.
and then randomly assigning users to those different versions.
Interesting.
It's essentially a way to run controlled experiments
I see.
and see which approach leads to better outcomes.
So it's like YouTube's constantly running these behind-the-scenes experiments
They are.
to figure out what works best.
Yes.
What are they looking for when they measure the results of these tests?
Yeah.
Just that people are clicking on more videos?
It's more nuanced than just click-through rates.
Really? So what else?
They also look at things like watch time,
Okay.
how long people are staying engaged with the content,
Mm-hmm.
and even whether those clicks are leading to further exploration of related topics.
So are they going deeper?
Yes, they're trying to measure not just initial engagement, but also the overall quality
Okay.
and depth of the user experience.
So it's not just about getting people to click. It's
Yes.
about making sure those clicks lead to something meaningful.
Exactly.
Something that keeps them coming back for more
Uh-huh.
and expands their understanding of the world.
Yes.
But let's be honest, sometimes we click on videos for reasons that have nothing to do with our actual interests, right?
The app is...
Like maybe the thumbnail is just really eye-catching?
Sure.
Or the title is super clickbaity?
Yeah.
Do those kinds of clicks throw off the algorithm?
That's where the system has to account for the messy reality of human behavior.
It does.
Not every click is a perfect reflection of our deepest desires.
That's true.
But that's where the power of massive data sets comes in.
Okay.
With billions of users and trillions of data points, the algorithm can start to distinguish between those impulsive clicks and the ones that indicate genuine interest.
So even if I fall for a clickbait title every now and then, YouTube's not going to suddenly think I'm obsessed with conspiracy theories.
Probably not.
Or celebrity gossip.
No.
That's reassuring. But it still makes me wonder how much influence we really have over these systems. I mean, it's clear that YouTube's gathering tons of data about us.
It is.
But are we just passively providing that data? Or do we have a more active role to play in shaping these recommendations?
I think...
It feels like we're walking this tightrope.
I know what you mean.
Between personalization and manipulation.
Yeah.
It's cool that YouTube can tailor my recommendations, but it's also kind of unnerving.
Right.
To think about how much it knows about me and how that might influence what I see.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
That's a great question.
What does the future of content discovery look like?
Well, that is the billion-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And while I don't have a crystal ball,
Okay.
it's clear that AI is going to play an even bigger role in shaping how we find and consume information online.
Okay.
We're already seeing this with the emergence of what's being called hyper-personalization.
Hyper-personalization.
Yeah.
Okay, now that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it?
What does that even mean?
So,
is YouTube going to start reading my dreams and serving up recommendations based on my subconscious desires?
It's not quite telepathy.
Okay.
But it is taking personalization to a whole new level.
Like what?
Imagine recommendations so finely tuned to your preferences that it feels like the algorithm can anticipate your needs and desires before you even know them yourself.
Okay, that's both amazing and a little terrifying.
I agree.
On the one hand, it would be awesome to have YouTube always suggest the perfect video at the perfect time.
Right.
But on the other hand, it feels like it could be used to manipulate or exploit our vulnerabilities.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
What if I'm feeling down and YouTube starts recommending videos that just reinforce my negative thoughts?
You've hit on a crucial point.
I have.
As these systems become more sophisticated and intertwined with our lives, it's more important than ever to think critically about their potential impact.
So we have to be careful.
We do. The responsibility falls on both the platforms developing these technologies and us as users to be aware of the potential downsides.
So it's not just about blindly embracing the latest AI-powered features.
It's not.
It's about being informed and thoughtful about how we use them and what consequences they might have.
Absolutely.
What can we do to make sure we're not just becoming puppets of these algorithms?
One of the most important things is transparency.
Okay.
Platforms need to provide users with a clearer understanding of how these recommendation systems work.
So tell me more.
What data they're using, how those recommendations are being generated.
It's about being open.
It's not about giving away trade secrets.
Right.
It's about building trust and giving users more agency over their own online experiences.
So instead of just seeing a bunch of videos magically appear on my feed, I should be able to understand why those specific videos are being recommended to me. And what data points are being used to make those decisions.
You got it.
Knowledge is power, right?
It is.
The more we understand about how these systems work, the better equipped we are to use them effectively.
Absolutely.
And avoid potential pitfalls.
Yeah, but transparency from platforms is only part of the equation.
Right. So what about us?
Yeah, what about the users?
What can we do to be more responsible digital citizens in this age of hyper-personalization?
Well, it starts with being aware.
Okay.
Take the time to understand the tools and settings available to you. You can manage your watch history, adjust your recommendations, even block specific channels.
So be proactive.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to experiment and see what works best for you.
Okay.
And most importantly, be mindful of the information you're consuming.
So it's like anything else in life, really.
It is.
We need to be active participants, not passive consumers.
I agree.
We need to make conscious choices about what we watch, how we interact with these platforms, and what kind of online world we want to create.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given me a lot to think about. Great. It's exciting to imagine the possibilities of AI-powered personalization.
It is.
But it's also a little daunting to think about the responsibility that comes with it.
It's a brave new world we're entering.
It is.
And it's up to all of us to navigate it thoughtfully and responsibly.
Well, thank you for guiding us through this fascinating and complex topic.
My pleasure.
It's been a real eye-opener.
I'm glad.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of YouTube's recommendation system.
Yes, thank you. We hope you've learned something new and maybe even come away with a few questions of your own.
I hope so.
Remember, the algorithm isn't destiny.
That's right.
You have the power to shape your own online experience.
You do.